Your daughter is 9 days old. She sleeps 18 hours a day, screams through most of the rest, and has so far cost you $4,200 in a hospital bill you still haven't worked up the nerve to open. It's 3:14 in the morning, and you've stopped doing baby math. Now you're doing money math, the kind that always seems to end at a number close to zero. Nobody slipped this into the folder they sent home with the swaddle instructions. The federal government has already set aside $1,000 with your daughter's name on it, and the clock to claim it is quietly running. Mike and Jennifer found out on day 40. They almost didn't. Here's the thing most new parents get backwards about that $1,000. They think it's a gift. It isn't. Not really. $1,000 by itself is the crib and the car seat and not much more. It will not pay for college. It will not pay for a single semester. It barely covers 3 weeks of daycare. But it's not the $1,000. It's the 18 years it gets to grow, starting the day she's born. That's the whole game. And almost nobody runs the math on the second part. Think about what that means. Your daughter is 9 days old. She can't hold up her own head. She has no concept of object permanence, and she is now, technically, long the entire United States stock market. Welcome to the economy, kid. At Mr. Sense, we spend way too much time reading the government fine print everyone else scrolls past. So if you've got a kid or one's on the way, subscribe. We break down one money trap, and every once in a while, one real gift, every single day. So here's what the thing really is, in plain words. It's called a Trump account. Yes, that's the real name. And under the hood, it's a traditional IRA for a baby. An IRA is just a retirement account with a tax deal attached. Traditional means you don't pay tax on the money going in, or while it grows, you pay later when it comes out. Hold on to that word, later. It comes back to bite. The money doesn't sit in cash. It gets invested in a broad U.S. stock index fund, basically a tiny slice of 500 of the biggest American companies at once. And the fees are capped at 0.1%. For once, the toll booth only takes a dime. That part is quietly, weirdly great. Now watch what time does. We're going to run an experiment with a pair of identical $1,000 deposits, made the same day. We put the first one into a Trump account in that index fund the morning the baby comes home. We take the second one and do the responsible sounding thing. Drop it in a savings account and forget about it. 18 years later, you open both. The savings account 1,000 has earned a few polite dollars of interest. Call it a nice dinner. The index fund 1,000, at the market's rough long-run average, is now somewhere between about $3,400 and $5,600, depending on how the market behaved, which nobody can promise. Same dollar. Same 18 years. One of them grew up. The other one just aged. That gap is compounding. It's a snowball you start rolling on the day with the most hill left in front of it. Now nudge it. Add $100 a month, about $3.50 a day. A coffee you skip, into that same account. 18 years later, that $1,000 seed plus your coffee money is worth around $46,000. Not from being rich, from being early and boring. $46,000 built $3.50 at a time. Let that sit for a second, and if nobody ever touches it, if that single original 1,000 just rides until she's old enough to retire, it could become anywhere from around $80,000 at a steady 7% to over $600,000 at the market's historical best. Which number she gets depends entirely on a rate no one alive can guarantee, so we won't pretend. But the direction isn't in dispute. A dollar that starts at age 0 has a runway no adult will ever get back. And here's the part that gets us, because it's not a projection. It really happened. Back in 2007, researchers in Oklahoma ran this exact experiment. They picked newborns at random and dropped $1,000 into a college savings account for each one. Then they waited. By the time those kids hit 14, that $1,000 had grown to about $2,300, and the kids with accounts held more than 3 times the assets of the kids without. But the money wasn't even the most interesting result. The kids who knew they owned a piece of something scored higher on hope, higher academic confidence, better at math. $1,000 didn't just grow. It changed how a child saw their own future. That's what we call the newborn seed, because it does something a savings bond never did. It tells a kid from day one, you own a piece of this. Okay, deep breath, because now we have to open this account up and look at the parts they leave off the brochure. First, the babysitter. The official account runs through BNY Mellon, a bank that's been around 240 years and have partnered with Robinhood. Yes, that Robinhood. The app that turned buying GameStop at 2 in the morning into a national sport is now the official babysitter for a federal trust fund. The App Store literally stamps it, designed and engineered in DC. Sleep tight. Second, remember later? When your kid finally pulls the money out, the growth gets taxed as ordinary income, not the lower rate investments usually get, the same rate as a paycheck. And there's no touching it before she turns 18 at all, with penalties if she pulls it before 59 and a half. The standard retirement account handcuffs. And third, this is the part they're hoping you never run the math on. This program is opt-in. To get the free $1,000 for an eligible kid, somebody has to file a form tied to a tax return, which sounds harmless until you ask who reliably files clean, optimized tax returns. Families who already have an accountant, already have an advisor, already, in other words, have a head start. The free money flows easiest to the people who need it at least. It's a locked safe with free cash inside, and the combination got mailed to the families who already had a key. Which brings up a number you may have seen in a headline. As of this spring, around 6 million kids had been signed up, but only about 1.2 million were getting the $1,000 seed. It sounds like 5 million families just got robbed. One more time? Slower, they didn't. The seed only goes to U.S. Citizen kids born between 2025 and 2028. Any kid under 18 can open one of these accounts, but only those newborns get the free dollar. So most of that gap is just kids who were never eligible for the seed in the first place. The real scandal isn't 5 million missed checks. It's the eligible families, the ones who qualify and still never hear about the form, quietly aging out of free money because the memo never reached them. Now, just add $100 a month is easy advice to give. Let's see what it costs in real life. Meet Diana, single mom, one income, a 9-month-old named Theo. She brings home $2,847 a month. Watch where it goes. Rent takes $1,310. She's got $1,537 left. Daycare for Theo and daycare for a baby now costs more per month than a lot of grown adults pay in rent. Takes $1,040. She's at $497. The car she needs to reach the job that pays for the daycare, payment, gas, and insurance, $310. She's down to $187. Phone and the light bill, another $140. She's at $47. With diapers and formula still standing in line, and those run her about $190 a month. Do that subtraction. Diana is already $143 underwater, and we haven't bought her a single thing to eat. Diana isn't bad with money. She doesn't have a boat. She's never seen the inside of a business class seat. She did everything she was supposed to do in an economy that priced the future clean out of her budget. There is no version of this math with $100 a month for 18 years from now sitting inside it. For Diana, the future is the line item that gets thrown overboard first, every single month. So that's the real cruelty. The families who most need a seed are the ones the system makes work hardest to plant it. And even when it does grow, remember, the government plants the seed, waters it for 18 years, and then shows up at the harvest with a fork. Before the fix, the strongest objection gets the floor. And it's a good one. A lot of sharp people, including free market economists you'd expect to cheer for any savings account, look at this thing and say, don't bother. Don't put your own money in it. And on the contributions, they have a point. For college, a 529 plan grows completely tax-free. This account doesn't. It just delays the tax and then charges the higher paycheck rate. For flexibility, other custodial accounts let you reach the money without retirement account penalties. This one locks it down. The $5,000 a year limit is small next to what those other accounts allow. If you're choosing where to park real savings, this often isn't the winner. That criticism is fair and it's true. But notice what even the harshest critics never say. Not one of them says, skip the free $1,000, because that part isn't an investment decision. It's just free money for a kid who qualifies, compounding on someone else's dollar for 18 years. So here's the rule. If your kid is eligible, claim the free $1,000. That part is the no-brainer everyone agrees on. Beyond that, if it's for college, a 529 still wins. If you might need the money, don't lock it in here. Put in only what you won't miss, and let the free dollar do the heavy lifting. Here's what doing it right looks like. And it's 3 moves, not 30. Move 1, claim the seed. This is the whole reason we're here. If your child is a U.S. citizen with a social security number, born anytime from 2025 through 2028, there's a free $1,000 waiting. The accounts open July 5th, 2026, and the government starts funding the seed around the 4th. You claim it by filing a short election form tied to your tax return. One quick important thing, because the scammers are already circling. The only real activation emails come from a no-reply address ending in trumpaccounts.eachtreasury.gov. Anyone texting you a link to unlock your baby's account is phishing. The real thing doesn't cost a cent and never ask for your card. That's the move that turns a headline into your kid's money. Mike and Jennifer filed theirs on day 41. One form, 15 minutes, $1,000 that's now quietly compounding, while their daughter learns to roll over. Move 2, feed it a number you won't feel. Not $100 if $100 isn't there. 25, even 10. Set it to move automatically the day after payday, so the future gets paid before the month eats it. Remember the experiment? $3.50 a day turned that seed into $46,000 by 18. The size of the number matters far less than the fact that it leaves on schedule, every month for 18 years. Boring and early beats big and late, every time. Move 3. Match the money to the goal. If you're saving specifically for college, put your serious money in a 529, where it grows tax-free for school. And let the Trump account be the free 1,000 bonus riding alongside it. If you just want to hand your kid a head start they can use for anything, fine. But never lock away money in here that you might need before she's grown. The seed is free and permanent. Your own dollars should go where they're both useful and reachable. Those are the 3. Claim the free seed, feed it something automatic, and match the rest to the goal. And here's a twist for the comments. This Trump account is built on an idea that started on the political left. They used to call it a baby bond. Now, this is also where we have to be honest about Diana. For a single mom, $143 underwater. Just to automate $25 a month can be its own kind of insult. The move that matters for her is move 1, and only move 1. The free $1,000. It costs her nothing but a form. And that's exactly why the opt-in design is such a quiet failure. The families who can least afford to miss free money are the ones the paperwork is most likely to lose. It's a strange program that asks the families with the least margin to be the most on top of their forms. If you know a Diana, the most useful thing you can do isn't a lecture about compounding. It's, did you file the form? Here's the link. And here's why all of this is worth 15 minutes of a sleep-deprived parent's life. Picture Grandpa Joe for a second. 71, did everything the old-fashioned way, started saving for retirement at 44 because that's when somebody finally told him to. He'll tell you the one thing he'd change isn't how much he saved. It's when he started. He can buy a lot of things now. He cannot buy 1965 back. Your daughter has the one asset Joe would trade everything for, and she has it in surplus. Time. 18 years before she's even an adult. 5 decades after that, the free $1,000 is small. What time does to it is not. That's the magic. Not the money, the runway, and she's got more of it right now, asleep in that crib, than you will ever have again. So go back to 3:14 in the morning. The hospital bill you still haven't opened, the money math that keeps landing near zero. None of that changed tonight. The crib still cost what it cost. The daycare is still a second rent. But there's one number in your kid's life that doesn't depend on your exhaustion, your salary, or how this month went. It's a free $1,000 and the 18 years it gets to grow starting now. Free money is free money. Go claim it. But the real gift was never the dollar. It's that your kid is richer than you in the one thing you can't earn back, time. If you know someone with a new baby, or one on the way, send them this before that window quietly closes. Subscribe if you want more of these. She's 9 days old and she already owns a piece of the future. Don't let the paperwork be the reason she doesn't.